Good afternoon. Welcome on into another episode of From Day One. Today we have a substitute Mauro Bay, in front of Judge Middleton. Along with Law Talk with Mike, let's begin.
Here we go. Watch here as Attorney Reed declines the opportunity to leave because he just wants to see this.
See this
go
one?
down.
Mr. Reed, I apologize. Why don't you go over to the
You're
pretrial
good.
side?
You're
got some-
good.
You're
You
fine,
wanna-
Judge.
All right, this will be a struggle.
He
And
wants
the
to
rest
see
of
the
you,
sovereign
thank you
citizen
for your
train wreck.
patience. I'm going to bring in Mr. iPhone, see who this is. Mr. McNair, I know you're there, so stay with me.
There's Mr. Perdue sitting down right now
Penny
with the white
and
mask.
Holly Morgan is here. All right, we got quite a few cases left to do. I'm going to stop the record and restart it here for a moment. I'm going to make a record on some cases. Deborah Davis is here from the prosecutor's office. Samuel R. Perdue, who also is known as Samir Mauro Bay, is here today. He has three separate driving suspended charges that are scheduled for jury trial. File 21213 ST alleges driving suspended second offense on January 31st, 2021 here in St. Joseph County. File 202073 alleges driving suspended on September 17th here in St. Joseph County. I think there may be a speeding charge with that.
There probably is, Your Honor.
File 202653 also charges driving suspended second offense and forgery and speeding. All of those matters were scheduled for jury trial today, November 10th.
Yeah, that's not happening.
Mr.
No,
Mauro
Mike, it
Bay
ain't.
wishes to represent himself on these matters. He has a perspective on the Michigan Motor Vehicle Code that disagrees with the state's version of it, but he didn't want an attorney and didn't wish to have representation. He wanted to represent himself in all of these matters. So we treated him like an attorney. We set the matter for a final pretrial to prepare for jury trial. And he didn't show up.
No, he didn't. Your
So there
Honor.
are presently 3 arrest warrants for Mr. Mauro Bay's arrest for failing to appear for duly scheduled last pretrials about 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, this is interesting. I did a live stream on this. I think it's called Bench Warrant for Mr. Perdue. I'll put links to that in the description below. But he had a court appearance, didn't show up, issued bench warrants, and it's interesting. I'm still not sure if he got picked up on a warrant or actually just appeared for his case, which was set for trial today.
We don't show up on the morning.
Actually, we'll go ahead and take a quick detour here for just a few seconds, Mike, because I actually do have that particular appearance. Let's go. This would be about a month and a half earlier in Judge Middleton's court.
This says 3 matters based on defendants' alleged driving on varying occasions. They're entitled People versus Samuel Perdue, also known as Samir Siraj Mauro Bay.
Also known as moron.
The first case is 202653 that alleges driving suspended false or forged operator's license alleged to have occurred on November 25th of 2020. That matter is set for jury trial on November 8th.
November 8th.
10th or 10th.
Your Honor.
November 10th.
Yes,
There's
Mikey.
also a speeding charge, I think, that accompanied that. Then in file 202073.
Is that live?
Mr. Perdue is again charged with driving suspended second offense for alleged driving of September 17th of 2020. That pretrial is set for 3:30. The defendant is not here.
No, Mikey, he's not here.
File 21213 is charged as driving suspended first offense, for reasons I don't understand, and false or forged license, and a civil infraction of speeding. The defendant is not
Super
here.
genius.
These matters were noticed out at 3:15, and 3:30. So we just spent a half an hour of our life that we won't be able to get back sitting here waiting for Mr. Perdue to appear.
That's all right, Judge. We had fun anyway.
Prosecutor has filed a motion to join all three of these driving suspended charges into one single trial under the theory that this is connected as a part of a continued scheme to falsify identification and avoid being required to obtain a driver's license.
Yep, that sounds about right.
Privileges are presently suspended.
Heavily.
I'm disappointed. I was hopeful he would be here and we could make some progress on this. Mr. Perdue wishes to represent himself. He's declined several offers from me to appoint counsel for him.
It's because he's dumb, Your
He's
Honor.
his own attorney. He's been here on a number of previous occasions for arraignments and pretrials. Matter was set for jury trial, as I mentioned, in about 10 days. I set this matter as a sort of status review. It's been some time since these cases were before the court to see if there was a settlement, see if it was going, and see if the defendant's going to show up.
Agree.
You don't really want to bring in 40 jurors on a jury trial morning for the defendant not to appear.
Yeah,
So
that would
he's
suck.
failed to appear here. I'm going to issue a bench warrant in each of the three driving suspended charges with bonds set at $1,000 cash for surety, with a 48-hour hold, which I think is required by statute. Mr. Perdue has a number of entries on his driving record, and it's full of FCJs, which stands for failure to comply with judgment. So he has this theory that he should be able to drive without being licensed by the state of Michigan, and his behavior simply indicates he feels he can do what he wants. Well, he can't. One of the things he has to do is show up for his trial. So I'm going to issue a bench warrant on each of three cases. Ms. Davis, unless we hear something by November 1st, you're not required to subpoena or to summon. The subpoenas are probably already out, but obviously we're going to call off the jury for that day unless we hear from or arrest the defendant before that time.
Your Honor, because there was some dash cam that came in just a few days ago, and we're close to the date of trial, and I did file that motion, would the court consider using the trial date as a date to hear the motion? We mailed a copy to his last known address. I'm not sure if it's the correct address, but we could certainly do a notice of hearing for the motion for that morning.
Don't do that yet, because then he'll think, well, I had a date to appear and I didn't appear. So if he does appear, it's very unlikely we're going to have a jury trial on this on November the 10th.
Well, and that's where my concern is it's unfair to him to not have the discovery information, but I'm hesitant to send out information to an address that I'm not sure if it's his. It's an apartment complex. We've had two different addresses at this, which I think is the same apartment complex, throughout the pendency of this case. So I don't want these videos going to the wrong person.
All right, we'll hold on to them for now.
Okay,
And if and when we obtain his person, we can address some of those issues. But I'm disappointed that he isn't here. As it turns out, we probably weren't going to be able to do a jury trial anyway. I hate to squander that day, which it looks like it's going to happen. Okay, Jordan Yancey is here with us. We can address her case perhaps. Anyway, 3 bench warrants on Mr. Perdue, $1,000 cash or surety, 48-hour hold. Bennett is not represented by counsel. If he does get this message by YouTube or otherwise, he needs to immediately contact the court. All right.
He did give his address as North America, as I recall.
Yeah, I believe he
Jordan
did.
said she'd like to be appointed as advisory counsel.
I think she did too. Did a really good job for her.
It'll be a learning experience.
Yeah, a pain. See if they have anything else here in this previous hearing.
We did not do very well today.
No.
3 no-shows out of about 5 cases. The only person that showed up was in jail.
Oh, jeez.
Miranda didn't, when she was in jail for not showing up. So here we are.
All right, so we will
Common theme.
stop that. And now back to the case in question.
Morning of trial with a basket full of papers and inconvenience 30 to 50 jurors who have to come in and hear your case and several witnesses without preparing for it. So we scheduled a pretrial conference and you didn't show up. So I've called off the jurors for today and the prosecutor has called off all the witnesses. And there are currently 3 separate warrants for your arrest for failing to appear. But you're here now.
I think I was unaware.
We sent that to the address that you gave us. And if you're representing yourself, you need to act like you're representing yourself. We sent you duly notice to your Sage Street address in
And I'm almost certain that they gave the date in the prior hearing where he was there.
Kalamazoo. The same notice you got for this.
I don't live there anymore, and I can't represent myself. I am myself.
All right, well, I'm not clairvoyant. I don't know that you moved. So, Mr. McNair, you're driving me crazy. I'm going to put you in the waiting room. You're walking all over the place and flashing the screen and giving me vertigo, and you're sideways and upside down. And so I'll be with you in a bit. Don't go away. Yes, that's your position. Then you're not doing a very good job of it because you didn't tell me where you lived. You didn't show up for a pretrial where we prepared for this. Now you come rolling in with a hat on the morning that your 30 or 40 jurors are supposed to be here. That's not a very good way to do business.
It's my religious headdress. I'm a Moorish American national.
A moronish American national, more like it.
Yes, I recall. All right.
The proven jurisdiction to begin with.
Ms. Davis is here.
I'm still waiting for jurisdiction.
On behalf of the prosecutor's office. Ms. Davis, do you have any thought on this?
Your Honor, I would ask that he be held in contempt for failing to appear at the last pretrial. I would also ask that an order enter regarding discovery if all of these items that he's holding on to are intended to be used as exhibits at the trial. I would like to have copies of those so that we can be prepared. Also, I'd like to have our motion for joinder of the cases heard so we can settle that matter prior to choosing the jury and having another date set.
Right in the middle of my busy arraignment morning when I have 14 people waiting to be arraigned, that'd probably work out too good. But it's all on him. He didn't show up he also got notice of your motion. Mr. Mauro Bay, do you have documents that you were gonna present as part of your defense?
I mean, I mailed in documents and I never got a response.
Oh, please.
I
Well,
mailed in
did you have
affidavit-
do you have some you wish to present?
So I mailed in an affidavit to you more than once, and this is also
And half a
I
fucking
mailed an affidavit to you more than once. Well, you see, if you're representing yourself, that's not how it works. I mean, we all know this. First of all, I really doubt it. But second of all, his affidavit is pointless. It's not going to help anything. But if you actually wanted to have documents considered as part of the trial materials, that's not the process. You're going to file that with the clerk of the court and give notice to the right parties, that sort of thing.
my legal notice for my lawful name change, because I put it on the record that I'm a Moorish American national and I'm not American or a U.S. citizen, excuse me. I'm a man of the land. I'm native to the land.
he's stupid tonight.
So a lot of these rules that the state of Michigan is creating is not applicable to me, unfortunately.
Good morning, all.
And I was trying to be
All right.
respectful to the court and let the court know since the
I
beginning.
had to jump on early because Samir Siraj Mauro Bay showed up. Might have to redo the stream.
All right. I want you to take Mr. Perdue into custody. We're gonna execute the 3 bench warrants that are currently out for his arrest for contempt. We'll take him to jail and we'll make an arrangement later to discuss.
Are you arresting me right now?
Yes.
I don't have time to do it now. Thank you.
Wow. I did not expect this. I was
Mr.
here
Perdue,
for
you're going to
Allison.
jail, St. Joe County Jail, here in St. Joe County, and I'm gonna hold on to you in lieu of 3 $1,000 bonds till we can review your contempt and the other things we need to deal with. But if you're gonna represent yourself, you need to do it right. You need to show up when you're supposed to show up. You need to follow the rules of evidence and procedure. You don't just come in and say, I'm my own country, I'm gonna do what I want. So you're going to jail.
I was unaware.
The bond
that
is
I was-
$3,000 per file, and I will talk with you later.
You go, Judge
So,
Middleton.
right now, you're going to the St. Joe County Jail. All right,
Thank
we'll
you.
deal with him, Deborah, when we have more time.
Thank you.
But he's clearly in contempt. And he is his own person, so he isn't representing himself, he is himself. We'll see if we can sort that out.
Well, there you have it. That is just so satisfying. I like I said, I didn't
No,
realize that was
no,
up.
no.
I was doing a
Mauro
live
Bay,
stream this morning
no,
on
wrong.
Allison Osmic. I'm going to do another separate video on that too and take it off because the live stream, by the way, it was really fun. I would recommend it if you want to, but it's long. But ultimately, this is very satisfying. Probably the best thing to do is to go to the playlist. I'm going to put this on the Mr. Perdue is traveling in Judge Middleton's jurisdiction playlist. If you start from the beginning and you see his attitude, you really see a change today because he knows it's over. So the judge holds him in contempt and puts him in jail for a little while, and I think he'll bring him back out. But the right thing happened here, and it was really satisfying. Here at Law Talk, we like to have fun with silly.
Yes, Mikey, it definitely was. We definitely appreciate you. Thank you for being with us for this afternoon. Come on back tonight for more fun, more substance, and more craziness. I believe I got a connection with Skeptic over in Europe that we'll use in the overnight here on From Day One. Have a best of afternoon. We'll see you tonight.